Good evening. Shubho Sandhya to everyone. My name is Badrul Alam Babul, and very welcome to our live show today. This live is streaming through our Facebook and YouTube channel. This special episode is dedicated to International Women's Day. International Women's Day is a global day celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. International Women's Day is one of the most important days of the year to celebrate women's achievements, raise awareness about women's equality, lobby for accelerated gender parity. Going back to the history, the seeds of the International Women's Day were planted back in 1908 when 15,000 women marched through New York City demanding shorter work weeks, better pay, and the right to vote. Imagine at the time in America when women did not have right to vote. However, we as a society have achieved a lot. In the past few years, we have seen tremendous progress on gender justice. This year, we saw the inauguration of Kamala Harris as the first female, first Black, first Asian American US Vice President. This is very significant, and who can forget the impact of Me Too conversation, which began back in 2017. But we have a lot more to achieve, and the fight against discrimination will go on. Today, we are here to celebrate women's achievements, talk about their journey, share experiences and challenges, and celebrate it together. For this live event today, we have invited three distinguished women who has made significant strides as a woman, as a mother, and as a professional. First, let me invite architect Muna Haq. Hi, Muna.
Hi, Badrul.
How are you today?
I'm very fine, thank you.
How was your weekend so far?
It was wonderful, wonderful. We had very nice weather. We had lots of sunshine. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Great. So Muna, let us invite our second guest today. You know her, and she is Hasina Kalam. Hi, Hasina.
Hello. Hi, Badrul. Hi, Muna.
Hello, Hasina.
Okay, Hasina. So we have third guest, and it's a surprise for both of you, and here she go.
Rita.
Hello, Badrul, Mona, Hasina.
How are you?
Hello.
I'm good. Thank you for inviting me to this live program.
It's my pleasure to invite you and have all of you on board. And so let me introduce our guests today. First of all, our first guest, Muna Haq. Her parents are from Bogra, Bangladesh, and they were both doctors and worked in the UK. Muna spent her childhood in England and Ireland, but pursued bachelor degree in architecture from Buet. She started her career as a lecturer at Khulna University. Later, she started working as an architect with Concord Group, and also started her own architectural and interior design consulting firm. She moved to Canada back in 2005, the year I also moved to Canada, interestingly, and completed her master's degree from York University. Currently, she is working as urban designer and planner at Weston Consulting Group, and she's a mother of a daughter who is studying life science at McMaster University. And she lives in Brampton with her husband, who is also a Buetian architect. Very welcome, Muna. And I want to introduce our second guest, Hasina Kalam. Hasina is graduated in mechanical engineering from Buet and currently working for the Ontario Ministry of Transportation's IT department as a middleware specialist. She received elementary and secondary and post-secondary education from Vikarunessa and Holy Cross College. She started her career at Petrobangla for a short period of time, and then she moved to US to pursue her further study. Hasina completed her master's degree from Texas Tech University and joined PI Components as a design engineer. She worked for Sun Microsystems as well as systems software engineer, and later moved to Canada and joined Ministry of Transportation, Ontario, as senior program analyst. Hasina was born and raised in Dhaka. Her father is also a BUET graduate. Hasina lives in Richmond Hill with her BUETian husband, and they have a daughter. Very welcome, Hasina.
Okay.
And our third guest, she doesn't need a lot of introduction because she is a sort of social media personality and also celebrity, if I may say that. And Rita, it's my pleasure to have you on board today. But it's my pleasure again to introduce you. Rita Sutradhar was born in Dhaka. She spent her childhood in Iraq and then went back to Bangladesh. She did SSC from Agrani School and then HSC from Holy Cross College, then graduated and later post-graduated from BUET in Civil Engineering and Environmental Engineering. After graduation from BUET, she joined EPC and later become shareholder director. Her father was a BUETian and co-founded EPC and authored several books. And her mother was a teacher. She moved to Canada with 2 kids back in 2012. Her spouse, Dipankar Debnath, I know him very well because he is also from Tidumir Hall, and served as superintendent engineer in Bangladesh Water Development Board before moving permanently in Toronto in 2018. Both of her kids, or their kids, Vijay and Sujoy, are studying at the University of Toronto. So very welcome, Rita again. And how Dipuda is doing?
It's doing great. Thanks for asking, Badru.
Excellent. So are you guys sort of settled in already?
Kind of.
So, by the way, you guys are looking stunning today. It's very nice sharis, and I like your colors. All of you got your color right.
Yeah, that purple is the main theme color for International Women's Day. So that's why to commemorate this day, we chose to wear purple.
Excellent.
So it was great that we found the right color at the right moment.
Yes, of course. You are absolutely correct. So let's get started. And just to give you a bit of sort of agenda for today, we're going to have 3 segments, and we will talk about past, present, and future, and basically to reflect from the past and talk about what we are doing or you are doing as a woman, and also talk about some projections, leaving some legacy behind, and talk about lessons learned for our next generation. So I want to start with Muna. And Muna, you have an interesting journey. You spent your childhood in the UK and then moved to Bangladesh and graduated in architecture from BUET, even though your parents were medical doctors. It's interesting that you have picked up architecture. And I have a huge fascination about architecture. And I was a little bit confused to which discipline to select when I sort of pursued my bachelor in civil engineering. So you finally settled in Canada. So how this journey shaped you and helped you to become the person you are right now?
Thank you, Bodrul. Yes, it has been like a long journey. It has been quite a number of years. তো একদম যদি ছোটবেলায় আসি, যখন ইংল্যান্ডে ছিলাম, তখন তো ধরো যে বাবা মায়ের সান্নিধ্যেই বড় হওয়া, ওনাদের ডিরেক্ট গাইডেন্সেই বড় হওয়া। তো ওনাদের কাছ থেকে যে শিক্ষাটা আমরা পেয়েছি, সেটা হচ্ছে তোমার be tolerant, be accommodating, and lead a simple life. এটা বলবো যে আমার চাইল্ডহুড it was quite a privileged childhood compared to many other families, কিন্তু সেই হিসাবে we were never spoiled. There was never extravagant in our family. তো somehow ওই জিনিসটা আমার মানে নিজের ভিতরে গেঁথে গেছে, কোনো কিছুর অতিরঞ্জন আমার কেন জানি ভালো লাগে না, I like to lead a simple life. তো এটা একেবারে ভিতরে গেঁথে যাওয়া। আর যে সময়টাই ধরো ইংল্যান্ডে ছিলাম, এটা ছিল 1970s এর দিকে। তো তখন ধরো সাউথ ইস্ট এশিয়ান কমিউনিটি, এই পপুলেশনটা খুব অল্প ছিল। তো স্কুলে যেতাম, প্রাইমারি স্কুল অ্যাটেন্ড করতাম। তো ক্লাসের মধ্যে হয়তো আমি একা বা সাথে আরো একজন, তারা ছিল এথনিক ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ডের, এবং তখন ধরো যথারীতি বুলিং এর শিকার হতাম। কিন্তু এই যে অ্যান্টি বুলিং বলে যে জিনিসটা, এই কনসেপ্টটা তখন কিন্তু ছিল না। So let alone having a campaign about anti-bullying. তো যেটা হতো যে মানে খুব যদি ধরো যে অ্যাগ্রেসিভ কিছু না হতো, অ্যাবিউসিভ কিছু না হতো, এতে ধরো এটা যদি না হতো, শিক্ষকরাও এটা নিয়ে খুব একটা মাথা ঘামাতেন না, প্যারেন্টসরাও খুব একটা কনসার্ন ছিলেন না। তো আমি স্কুল থেকে ধরো থাকে না, বুলিড অবস্থায় বাসায় ফিরে খুব মন খারাপ। বাবা মা তখন বোঝাতেন যে তুমি ধৈর্য ধরে থাকো, তোমাকে সবাই যখন জানবে বুঝবে, you will become friends. And what, surprisingly, the students who used to bully me the most, ultimately they became my best friends. At least 2 or 3 of them became my best friends. So সেটাই যে ধৈর্য ধরে থাকা, being accommodating, it helps, it pays back. হঠাৎ করে ধরো তোমার 80-র দশকে আমার বাবার ইচ্ছা হলো যে উনি দেশে ফিরে আসবেন। he was serving the England's National Health Service. উনি সেখানে আই স্পেশালিস্ট এন্ড সার্জন ছিলেন। তো হঠাৎ করে ওনার ইচ্ছা হলো যে দেশে ফিরে যাবেন, এই সেবাটা উনি দেশের মানুষকে দিবেন। and he came back and settled in his hometown. বগুড়াতে আমার দাদার বাসা, সেখানেই উনি ওনার ক্লিনিকটা এস্টাবলিশ করলেন। তো আমাদের জন্য এটা ছিল ওই সময়টা অনেক বড় একটা ট্রানজিশন, কারণ আমরা বাংলা বলতে পারি না, সেই নতুন করে বাংলা শিখতে হলো, স্কুলে ভর্তি করানো হলো। তো পুরো দস্তুর বাংলাদেশি বনে গেলাম আর কি। তারপরও তো ধরো বুয়েটে আসা, আর্কিটেকচার পড়তে আসা। তো আমি যেটা বলবো যে বুয়েট it has an immense impact on my life. হ্যাঁ, অনেক কিছু শিখিয়েছে, অনেক কিছু দিয়েছে। বুয়েটের কাছে আমি অনেকাংশে ঋণী, কারণ প্রথমত হলো যে একটা প্রফেশনাল ডিগ্রি দেওয়া, একটা আর্কিটেকচারাল ডিগ্রি দেওয়া, যে ডিগ্রিটা দিয়ে I've been able to practice in this industry in Bangladesh for quite a number of years, and that's before coming to Canada. আর তারপরে আমার মনে হয় যে মেয়ে হিসেবে অনেকখানি কনফিডেন্স দিয়েছে আমাকে, অনেকটা স্বাবলম্বীও করেছে আমাকে। আর একটা কথা না বললে নয়, সেটা হচ্ছে যে আমার চিন্তাকে একটু প্রসারিত করা। আগে যেটা হতো যে খুব কনফাইন্ড ওয়েতে চিন্তা করতাম, হ্যাঁ, খুব মানে চট করে একটা কনক্লুশন ড্র করে ফেলতাম। কিন্তু আমার মনে হয় যে বুয়েটের মানে ইন্টেলেকচুয়াল এনভায়রনমেন্টটা এইরকম যে it sort of teaches you, একটা ইভেন্টের বা একটা ইস্যুকে নানা দিক থেকে তোমার ইভ্যালুয়েট করবার একটা ব্যাপার আছে। তো আমার যেটা হলো যে I stopped being judgmental. I stopped making biased comments about certain issues and events. এবং আমার জন্য পার্সোনালি মনে করবো যে এটা অনেক বড় একটা পাওয়া, it changed me a lot. আর তারপরে তো ধরো যে 2005 সালে কানাডাতে আসা। তো এখানে আসার ব্যাপারে যেটা বলবো যে লাইক মোস্ট অফ দি ইমিগ্রেন্টস, সবাইকে যে হার্ডশিপের ভিতর দিয়ে যেতে হয়, হয়তো তোমাকেও যেতে হয়েছে, the same hardship, there's a language barrier, there's cultural shock, and then সবচেয়ে বড় কথা, re-establishing yourself in your profession once again. তো এই যে মানে হার্ডশিপ গুলো, এগুলোর ভিতর দিয়ে যাওয়া, আমার মনে হয় যে মানুষ হিসেবে আমাকে অনেক রেজিলিয়েন্ট করেছে, অনেক অনেক স্টাডি বানিয়েছে, So well, that's my journey so far, মোটামুটি তোমাকে আমার মানে জীবনের অর্ধেকটা বলা বলা হয়ে গেল।
No, it's a stunning journey, and you are absolutely right that the sort of life of immigrant is sort of synonymous. Like we had to have these sort of same struggle, same journey. So thank you for explaining this, Muna. So I want to go to Hasina, and obviously, Hasina, you have a very impressive profile, especially your academic background. You started with Vikarunessa, then Holy Cross, BUIT, Texas Tech, and University of Massachusetts. I always have this, problem. That's impressive, and it shows your commitments towards quality education. And I wonder what or who influenced you to pursue these outstanding academic achievements. You are in mute.
Sorry. Thank you, Budru, for the questions. You have said a lot about me, but I'm just a simple person like you guys. Immigrant, you can say, to Canada. So to answer your question, I would say that so far what I'm able to achieve academically was possible because of my parents' continual encouragement and influence. They have been a great motivating force in my life. I believe as a parent of 5 daughters, I think they thought that it was important for them to teach us the value and the positive impact proper education can have a girl's life. So I also think that the educational institution I went to, especially for the elementary, secondary, and post-secondary level, have helped my future in one way or another. These institutions have adopted academic curriculum, teaching standard, and competitive environment that's not available in most of the institutions at that time. And these not only enhance my academic performance, but also help develop my outlook toward education. It was ironic that I registered to Salimullah Medical College on the same day the BUIT result came out. I think I was not confused at that time. I was going to go to medical college, but at the end, I admitting to BUIT. I canceled the registration a week later. I believe it's because I had some inclination towards BUIT. As a child, we attended a lot of functions in BUIT auditorium with my parents. And also somehow the handling, dead human organs and blood was scared me off, I guess. So that's how I came about going to with my thesis.
Excellent, Hasina. Yeah, well said. I know that it's we always have a sort of huge influence from our parents, and so I want to go now to Rita. So Rita, interestingly, you came from a civil engineering family. Your father, your uncle, your brother, even your husband, Dipuda, all are civil engineers. So I was just wondering, why civil engineering? Was it an obvious choice for you, or well thought out decision? Is there any story behind it?
I'd say that I was greatly influenced by my father from my childhood. My story kind of some part resembles with Mona and some part with Hasina too. Like we all came from very well educated and very established family. তো বাবাকে আমরা যখন ছোটবেলায় ইরাকে ছিলাম, তো বাবা তো সিভিল ইঞ্জিনিয়ার, বিভিন্ন জায়গায় ফিল্ড ট্যুরে যেত। তো ওনার কাজকর্ম দেখে তারপরে আমাদের সবসময় উনি জোর দিতেন ম্যাথস সায়েন্সের উপরে। সেগুলো থেকে সবসময় মানে ভেতরে ভেতরে মানে বড় হয়ে কি হব একটা ইচ্ছে লালন করতাম ভেতরে যে ইঞ্জিনিয়ার হব। আমার মনে আছে যে স্কুলে থাকতে যখন আমাদের এইম ইন লাইফ চিঠি লেখা বা এসে আসছিল, নিজে থেকে লিখছিলাম যে আমি ইঞ্জিনিয়ার হব। এবং ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং এর মধ্যে যেহেতু সিভিল ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং ডিসিপ্লিনটাই আমার কাছে পরিচিত, সেজন্য ওটাই তখন আমার ফার্স্ট চয়েস ছিল। তো মা বলতো যে তুই পারবি, ফিল্ডে যেতে হবে, আনন জায়গায় যেতে হবে, ছেলেদের সাথে চলতে হবে। আমার কাছে, আমি যেহেতু দুই ভাইয়ের সাথে বড় হয়েছি এবং আমার বাসা সবসময় মামারা আসতো যেত, তো মানে ছেলেদের সাথে ওঠা বসা চলাটা আমার কাছে ডিফারেন্ট কিছু কখনোই মনে হয়নি। যে মেয়ে হিসেবে যে মানে যেই জড়তা বা যেটাই বলো সেটা আমার মধ্যে অতটা ছিল না, আর তখন ওটা কিছুই তখন মনে হয়নি। তারপরে আরেকটা যেটা অ্যাডেড ঘটনা হলো যে আমার যে দুটো ক্লোজ ফ্রেন্ড ছিল, রিমা এবং লাইসু, তো কলেজ থেকে আমরা একসাথে, তো আমাদের ইচ্ছে ছিল যে আমরা যেন কখনো ছাড়াছাড়ি না হয়ে একসাথে থাকি। তো আমরা দুদিকেই পরীক্ষা দিই, মেডিকেল এবং ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং এ। মেডিকেলে তিনজনই চান্স পাই, বাট আমি আর লিমা দুজন টিএমসিতে, ঢাকা মেডিকেল কলেজ, আর লাইসু বরিশালে। তো আমাদের মন খারাপ হয়ে গেল যে লাইসু বরিশালে চলে যাবে। তারপরে যখন ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং এর রেজাল্ট দিল, তখন মানে আমাদের খুশি দেখে কে, মানে দৌড়াতে দৌড়াতে গিয়ে আর কি আমরা মানে মা অনেক ইয়ে করলো যে না আমাদের ফ্যামিলিতে একটা ডাক্তার হলে। আমি বলছি না, লিমালাইদের সাথে আমাকে বুয়েটে যেতে হবে। তো আমরা গিয়ে একসাথে ভর্তি হলাম। তো 16-17 বছর বয়সে ওটাই ছিল মানে স্বপ্ন যে একসাথে পড়বো, একসাথে থাকবো। এবং লিমার বাবা ইঞ্জিনিয়ার ছিলেন, সিভিল ইঞ্জিনিয়ার ছিলেন, আমার বাবা ইঞ্জিনিয়ার ছিলেন, সেভাবে ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং চয়েসটা চলে আসে।
Great, what a story.
ও আরেকটা ব্যাপার ছিল যে আমরা যখন ইরাক থেকে ফিরি, তখন আমার মামা, তো পরিমল মামা, যিনি রোডস এন্ড হাইওয়েজে ছিলেন, তো উনি আসনালা হলে থাকতেন। তো উনার ওখানে অনেকবার বেড়াতে যেতাম। বুয়েটের পরিবেশটা আমার কাছে মানে অদ্ভুত সুন্দর লাগতো, চারিদিকে গাছপালা, এবং প্রায় ওনার ওখানে হলে আসনা হলে আমরা বেড়াতে যেতাম বাবার সাথে। তো এই জন্য মানে বুয়েটের সাথে একটা নারী টান মনে হয় যেন ছোটবেলা থেকে আমাদের ছিল, ওটাই কাজ করেছে।
Right. Yeah. I can completely understand, and yeah, I would say it's a combination of both. Like, maybe it was a destiny.
Yeah.
So you all have sort of, and me too. Like, we all have weird backgrounds. So any interesting story you want to share today with this group or with our audience? Anyone?
বুয়েটের কোন একটা স্মৃতি শেয়ার করতে বলছো?
Right.
বুয়েটের তো মানে এত হাজার হাজার স্মৃতি, কোনটা পিক করি? বুয়েটের স্টুডেন্ট লাইফে না, আমি একটু পরের একটা স্মৃতি বলি যে মানে কিভাবে বুঝছি যে আমরা কি ধরনের চিন্তা করি বুয়েটে থাকতে আর বের হয়ে আর কি। তো বুয়েটের থেকে মানে গ্রাজুয়েশনের পরে টিচিং অ্যাসিস্ট্যান্টশিপ পাই প্রফেসর আলমগীর হাবিবের সাথে।
আচ্ছা।
কিছুদিন আগে উনি গত হয়েছে। তো ওনার, তো আমার কাজ ছিল, উনি আমাকে বললেন যে পরীক্ষার খাতা কাটতে হবে, মানে ক্লাস টেস্ট যেগুলো খাতা আসে সেগুলো আমাকে কাটতে হবে। তো ক্লাস টেস্টে খাতা কাটতে গিয়ে আমি তো মহা সুখে মানে খাতা কাজ করে কাটি, মার্কস দিই কম কম। আমরা যখন স্টুডেন্ট ছিলাম তখন কত মানে আমাদের কেন একটু কম মার্কস পেলে মনে হতো কেন কাটলো, কি হলো, কিন্তু আমি দেখলাম যে টিচারের পার্সপেক্টিভ থেকে কোনো দয়া মায় নাই। তখন মানে ভুল করছে কেটে দিলাম, ভুল করছে কেটে দিলাম। তারপর বাবা ছিল আর কি পাশে, দেখতেছিল। বাবা বলকি তুই ওদেরকে এরকম মার্কস কম দিচ্ছিস কেন? বললাম যে ওরা তো অঙ্ক ভুল করছে। কি না, কি বলিস? তখন বুঝলাম যে মানে আসলে যখন মানে এক্সপিরিয়েন্স বা বয়স হয় তখন মানে মানুষের ভিতরে অন্যরকম একটা জাজমেন্ট কাজ করে। আর আমার কাছে তখন হ্যাঁ বা না, মাঝখানে কোনো গ্রে এরিয়া নেই। যেটা ভুল হলো তো কেটে দিলাম, এটা ভুল হলো কেটে দিলাম। আরেকটা জিনিস, যেহেতু ওনার আমার মা টিচার ছিলেন, তো মার কাছ থেকে একটা ঘটনা শুনলাম তখন যে মার এরকম যে তখন তো ওনার মেট্রিক পরীক্ষা বলতেন, এসএসসি যেটা, তো পরীক্ষার খাতা কাটতে হতো। তো একটা ছেলে আর কি লেটার মার্কস পাবে ম্যাথসে, বাট সে 80 থেকে পিছনে 3 মার্ক পিছনে আছে। বাবা মা কোনোভাবেই মানে কিভাবে হেল্প করা যায়। তো ওনারা খুব চেষ্টা করছেন যে পার্সিয়াল মার্কিং করে বা কোনো কিছু করে যাতে ছেলেটাকে লেটার মার্কস পাওয়ানো যায় কিনা। তো সেই
আচ্ছা।
গল্পটা তখন করলেন যে টিচাররা যে মানে খুব অমানবিক হয় বা চেষ্টা করে না যে খুব সেটা না। আসলে কিন্তু অনেক তারাই চেষ্টা করে যে স্টুডেন্টরা যাতে আরো বেশি মার্কস পায়। মন খারাপ না করে। কারণ সে তো তার যতটুকু এফোর্ট ততটুকুই সে দিয়ে পরীক্ষাটা দিয়েছে, তাই না? তো ওই জিনিসগুলো আরকি মানে স্টুডেন্ট থাকতে একরকম দৃষ্টিভঙ্গি থাকে। আর টিচার হয়ে গেলে অন্যরকম দৃষ্টিভঙ্গি হয় সেটা ফিল
অ্যাবসলিউটলি। আমার যেটা মনে হয় বুয়েটের যেই স্মৃতি বলতে পারো বা সর্ট অফ রিকালেকশন, আমার একাডেমিক কোনো রিকালেকশন নাই। আমি কি পড়াশোনা করেছি, আই কমপ্লিটলি লস্ট ইট, আই কমপ্লিটলি ফরগট ইট। But I have sweet memories about, cafeteria, ক্যান্টিন,
অসংখ্য।
এই ঘোরা, আড্ডা দেয়া, বিকালবেলা সবাই মিলে তোমার
হ্যাঁ।
ইয়েতে যে টিএসসি তে যাওয়া, ওখানে সিঙ্গারা খাওয়া, মানে এইসব স্মৃতি খুবই খুবই মনে পড়ে।
আমার মনে হয় সবচেয়ে বেশি আমাদের মনের মধ্যে দাগ কেটে আছে। আমি অবশ্য কখনো যাইনি মানে পিকনিকে যারা গেছে এবং আমার
Right.
জন্য হচ্ছে র‍্যাগ ডেটা মানে মোস্ট
হুম।
ইম্পর্টেন্ট মানে স্মৃতি। যে তখন মনে হয়েছে যে মানে চলে যাব মানে এটা তখনও মানে বিশ্বাস করতে পারছি না যে সবাইকে ছেড়ে চলে যাব। যে তখন মনে হলো যে আসলে ৪ বছর শেষ হয়ে গেছে এবং মানে খুব দ্রুত শেষ হয়ে গেছে এবং মনে হতো যে মানে কি পরিচিত সব জায়গাগুলো এবং মানে একটা অন্যরকম ফিলিংস র‍্যাগ এর সময় বা র‍্যাগের যে সপ্তাহটা আমরা পালন করলাম ওই সময়টায় আরকি। তখন মনে হয় সবচেয়ে বেশি সবাই কাছাকাছি চলে আসছিল। দূরত্বগুলো কমে গেছিল। ছেলে
Right.
মেয়ে সবার ভিতরে। এর আগে আমার কাছে মনে হতো যে মানে আমাদের তো ১৮০ জন ছিল সিভিলে ৩ টা সেকশন, অনেক স্টুডেন্ট, অনেক দূরত্ব বা গ্যাপ ছিল। আর আমরা মেয়েরাই ছিলাম প্রায় ১১ জন। তো মানে আমরা নিজেদের মধ্যেই ব্যস্ত থাকতাম, কথা বলতাম। তো র‍্যাগ ডেতে এসে মনে হলো যে আসলে সবার সাথে মেশার বা জানার মনে হলো যে মানে সুযোগ হয়নি। মনে হলে হয়তো আরো অনেক ভালো হতো। এরকম।
Very interesting. You guys want to add anything? Or
আমি এই যে বদরুলের সাথে একটু সুর মিলিয়ে বলতে চাই যে ওইরকম তুমি যেটা বলছিলে যে একাডেমিক কোনো ঘটনার কথা মনে নেই, কিন্তু এছাড়া বাদবাকি যা কিছু আছে, আমাদের আর্কিটেকচারাল ফ্যাকাল্টিটা খুব সুন্দর একটা বিল্ডিং এবং
Exactly.
গ্রাউন্ড ফ্লোরটা সম্পূর্ণ ওপেন। তো ওইখানে বসে আড্ডা মারা ওইটা ছিল দ্য বেস্ট পার্ট, এবং তারপরে আমরা হঠাৎ করে প্ল্যান করতাম ১ ঘন্টার মধ্যেই যে ঢাকার আশেপাশে কোনো হিস্টোরিক্যাল সাইট থেকে আমরা ঘুরে আসবো, তো ১ ঘন্টার প্ল্যান এবং ইমপ্লিমেন্টেশন, আই মিন ইটস ডান। তারপরে ধরো 4th ইয়ারে আমাদের একটা ট্রিপ থাকে ইন্ডিয়াতে। We get an opportunity to visit, the world class architectural heritage sites. সেই সুযোগটা হয়েছিল এবং ওয়ার্ল্ড ফেমাস আর্কিটেক্ট বালকৃষ্ণ দোষী ওনার স্টুডিও কাম রেসিডেন্সে ওনার সাথে সময় কাটানোর সুযোগ হয়েছিল। তো
আচ্ছা।
এটা বিগ অপরচুনিটি এবং মানে কখনো কখনো ভুলবার না এটা।
That's great. Anything from Hasina?
আমি রিতা এবং মুনা দুজনের সঙ্গে সুর মিলায়ে বলবো যে র‍্যাগে যাওয়ার পর মনে হচ্ছে why did we waste so much time not integrate with the other friends.
সেই
আর হ্যাঁ, there are many sweet memories and not funny memories with the teachers, like teachers teaching you and they are you are seeing their back and then you are doing all kinds of faces and comments. So those I don't want to share those specific, but everybody has those moments in the class.
Exactly.
I fully agree with you.
Memories.
The only classroom memory I have still that that Jubi Gias was my classmate.
wow.
But anyways, let's move on. So I want to spend some time talking about lessons learned or reflection, which we can pass on to the other women, especially young women. So this time also I want to start with Muna. What advice would you give to your daughter for her future?
Thank you, Budrul. আমার মেয়েটা তো she's attending her final year in university. She's nearing towards graduation. তো ওর সামনে বেশ কয়েকটা অ্যাভিনিউ খোলা আছে and she's researching those, she's exploring those. এবং ওই দিক দিয়ে আমি সাহায্য করে যাচ্ছি, আমার যতটুকু সম্ভব আমি অ্যাডভাইস দিয়ে যাচ্ছি। তবে ওকে যেটা বলবো আমি, ডোন্ট বি অ্যাফ্রেড টু মেক মিস্টেকস, লাইক
Yes.
আমাদের মতো না যে ভুল হবে দেখে এই পথটা আমি এক্সপ্লোর করলাম না, সেই ভয়টা পেও না, বিকজ উই ডোন্ট লার্ন ইফ উই ডোন্ট মেক মিস্টেকস, ইউ ডোন্ট অ্যাডভান্স ইফ ইউর নট মেকিং মিস্টেকস। সো সেদিক দিয়ে কখনো ভয় পেও না। আর আমার মেয়েটার, তোমরা তো সবাই জানো, শি ইজ ভেরি প্যাশনেট অ্যাবাউট মিউজিক। তো
Right.
পেশাগত দিক দিয়ে যেখানেই থাকো না কেন, stay connected with music, এটা মেন্টাল হিলিং এর জন্য কাজ করে। And she's also pretty active in social media about social causes, gender equity বলো, সে বেশ সরব ভূমিকা পালন করে সোশ্যাল মিডিয়াতে। তো I would advise her to keep continue what she's doing, and কখনো যদি, if she has the capacity to protest anything that she thinks is unjust, socially unjust, just go for it and encourage others to do it with her. এটাই আমার অ্যাডভাইস থাকবে তার জন্য।
Absolutely, you are right on. One of the things our kids should know that you never lose. Either you win or you learn.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I absolutely agree with you, and very good advice. So thank you, Munas. I want to go to Hasina. I have similar question about parenting and raising daughter. So how parenting and raising a daughter shaped you to become a person you are right now?
Thank you, Badrul. It's a good question. As a parent, we nurture our children and provide them a structured environment for their development. We are responsible for their basic needs like food, shelter, education, medical care, as we all do, and also build a structure, set boundaries, rules, provide directions, offer support, teach them compassion, accountability, and consequences. These are all needed for their development. While all these are important duties we do, I wanted to build a strong relationship with my daughter so that she can consider my opinion, my advice when she makes her decisions when she grows up. I try to spend time with her, showing affections, listening to her stories, and involving with her activities. The person I am today is somewhat different than what I was 15 years ago. There have been some major changes the parenting my daughter brought about in me. Today, I'm more patient. I am more forgiving. It becomes easy to love unconditionally. Before, it was difficult sometimes, or let go of something that I don't have control on. And last thing is not give up on something that I believe in strongly. So it's like I am able to fight more than before.
Excellent. I hear a lot of similarities, like raising, and because I have a daughter too, and she is she's an amazing kid, and I in fact I learn a lot from her on a day-to-day basis. You are absolutely right on, Hasina. So my next question is for Rita, and it's just a sort of reflective questions, as I say that. What advice would you give to the 20 years of yourself?
Myself.
Yeah.
আমার কাছে যেটা মনে হয় মানে এখন আসার পর মনে হয় আর কি, তখন হয়তো মনে হয়নি যে যেহেতু খুব আর্লি এজে আমার বাবা মা দুজনেই চলে গেছেন, তো আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে when I was 20, if I could give more time and share some more memories with them, তো সেটা আমি অনেক গিল্টি ফিল করি আর কি, যে যদিও মানে বয়সের ধর্ম অনুযায়ী তখন আমি ফ্রেন্ডদেরকে নিয়ে অনেক বেশি ব্যস্ত থাকতাম, ফোনে, বাইরে, মানে ওরাই ধ্যান জ্ঞান প্রাণ সবকিছু। আর এটা মনে হয় সব ওই বয়সে সববারই থাকে, আমার মেয়েকেও তো দেখি একই। তো তারপরে মনে হয় যে আমাকে যদি মানে আরেকবার সুযোগ দেওয়া হতো তাহলে হয়তো আমি আরো কিছু বেশি সময় মার সাথে কাটতাম, আরো কিছু বেশি সময় হয়তো বাবার সাথে কাটাতাম। তো that's what I would say, that spend some more time, more quality time with your family, because time is so short and you don't get the second chance to see them or be with them.
তোমার সাথে সম্পূর্ণভাবে একমত রিতা আমি and as you might know recently I lost my father and you know it's very hard to feel when you have your parents the shock, the horror, and I know that I know a lot of my friends, they have their parents, and it's hard to realize, but until or unless you lose your parents, one of father or mother, it's very hard to sort of realize that. And I absolutely agree with you that spending time with parents, calling them, talking to them, I very much regret. So in that respect, আমি তোমার সাথে absolutely একমত. We'll talk about our professional journey in a bit, but I just want to take this opportunity to ask a sort of a general question, and because whatever you said, all of you, this is also important for the theme of this year's International Women's Day. Like the theme for International Women's Day for this year is choose to challenge. I know that we are unique, and we have our own struggle, our own, challenges, difficulties, and etc., and opportunities as well. And I was wondering what challenges you choose for 2021, if any. Like I want to go with Hasina first.
Well, the challenge I would choose this year, hopefully I will be able to stick to it, is to better take care of myself physically. I work too much. I'm sometimes glued to the computer and the chair table almost all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to find time to have some physical exercise, to take proper rest at proper time, and involve my daughter too while doing this, and my family if my husband wants to accompany us. But yeah, that's what I would like to take a challenge on. But I ask your dua so that I would be able to do something about it.
You wish, my dua. Sometimes I also, so glued to computer. It's very hard to get out of sort of, get outside. So, but I think it's a great challenge, for 2021. What about Rita? What is your challenge for 2021?
2021 challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, after I hit my 50s, that one challenge is to survive and keep breathing. এখনকার চ্যালেঞ্জ তো কি বলবো, until the vaccine comes, আমি জানি না তোমাদের কেউই তো আমরা পাইনি।
No.
So keep on surviving, keep maintaining good health, as Hasina said. It's very important. Now we realize at this age of our life, and also after the pandemic, health is so much important. You don't realize it when you are in your 30s or even 40s, right? So এখন চ্যালেঞ্জ হচ্ছে নিজেকে সুস্থ রাখা, আর মনে হয় যে আমি সুস্থ থাকলে আমার ফ্যামিলি সুস্থ থাকবে, এবং সবাই মানে ভালো থাকাটাই এখন জরুরি।
Yeah, well said. How about Muna?
আমি আবার কিছুটা অ্যাডভেঞ্চারাস বলবো কারণ I'd like to challenge myself to get out of my comfort zone and আমি বলবো যে আল্লাহর ওয়াস্তে do something new. I mean it can be anything. It could be learning a new software that I need for my professional job. It might be even learning a new musical instrument. আমার আবার তারের যন্ত্রের প্রতি খুব একটা আগ্রহ আছে, একটা সময় ছিল যে সেতার শিখবো হতে পারে সেটা, I don't know, but do something new. কারণ হয় কি যে প্রতি বছর নিউ ইয়ার্সে আমরা রেজলিউশন নেই, এই করব সেই করব, কিন্তু ওই লিস্টেই থাকে, সেগুলো আর ইমপ্লিমেন্ট করা হয় না। So this year I want to challenge myself to implement at least one thing from that long list that has been piling up for the last couple of years.
Good job.
Let's see. Good job. Next অনুষ্ঠানে হয়তো সেতার বাজিয়ে শোনাবো।
Yes.
We are very much looking forward to that.
Forward to it, yeah, Muna.
Yeah, and wish you all the best. Okay, so we're going to talk about your profession for a minute because like you all are busy professionals. You are mother, and life partners and whatnot. Like you are, women's are everything. But I want to talk about and ask question about the your professional journey, and want to start with Mona. So you have been working in architectural and urban design industry for many years, and you have been with your current employer for a while, for the last 13 years. So what excites you most about going to work every day?
ধন্যবাদ বদরুল। তুমি যে প্রশ্নটা করছিলে না যে বাবা মা ডাক্তার, তারপরে কেন আর্কিটেকচারে পড়তে গেলাম, তো অ্যাকচুয়ালি বোধহয় কারণটা এটা যে ছোটবেলায় ছবি আঁকতে খুব ভালো লাগতো। খুব যে ভালো ছবি আঁকতাম তা কিন্তু না, কিন্তু বিষয়বস্তুটার প্রতি সাংঘাতিক একটা আকর্ষণ ছিল। তো সেই তাড়নাতেই বোধহয় তোমার বুয়েটে আর্কিটেকচারে পড়তে আসা। আর এই ডিপার্টমেন্টে আসার পরে যেটা হলো যে ডিজাইন, আর্ট, আর্কিটেকচার এগুলোর প্রতি ভালো লাগাটা বেড়ে গেল অনেক বেশি, এবং যেদিকেই যাই খালি ডিজাইন খুঁজি, মানে সিমেট্রি থাকতে হবে, ব্যালেন্সড কম্পোজিশন থাকতে হবে, এটসেট্রা এটসেট্রা। তো গ্রাজুয়েশনের পরে আমার বাংলাদেশে থাকতে কাজ করার সুযোগ হয় কনকর্ড ইঞ্জিনিয়ার্সে, যেটা বাংলাদেশের সবচেয়ে বড় নির্মাণ প্রতিষ্ঠান ছিল সেই সময়টাতে। And that was like entering into another university, মানে hands on experience যেটাকে বলে, প্রজেক্ট ম্যানেজমেন্ট বলো, ম্যান পাওয়ার হ্যান্ডলিং বলো, তারপরে প্রজেক্ট ডেলিভারি, ক্লায়েন্ট এক্সপেকটেশনস, বিশাল একটা সুযোগ হয়েছিল অনেক কিছু এখান থেকে শিখবার জন্য। আর আরো লাকি ছিলাম যে আমি যে সময়টা কনকর্ডে ছিলাম ওই সময়টাতে বাংলাদেশের প্রথম যে থিম পার্ক ফ্যান্টাসি কিংডম, ওই থিম পার্কটাতে আমি কাজ করার সুযোগ পাই। That was a real, very exciting experience for me, a real eye opener, and it was the first sort of like mega project that I was involved in. Like অনেক দেশের কনসালটেন্ট ছিলেন সেটাতে। আমার মনে আছে ওইটার যিনি লিড আর্ট ডিরেক্টর ছিলেন, অস্ট্রেলিয়ান ভদ্রলোক, উনি হলিউডের স্টিভেন স্পিলবার্গের সাথে ওনার সেট ডিজাইনে সহযোগিতা করেছেন। তো ওনার কাছ থেকেও অনেক কিছু শেখান। It was like for the first time you're experiencing a new kind of architecture, একটু romanticism, একটু fairy tale-ish background, এবং কনস্ট্রাকশন টেকনিক গুলোও ছিল আমাদের জন্য নতুন। তো that was a really massive experience, এবং আমার পোর্টফোলিওতে it's a very important project, Fantasy Kingdom. তারপরে মনে করো যে এইখানে কানাডাতে আসার পরে it was a new learning curve for me, কারণ এখানকার বিল্ডিং ইন্ডাস্ট্রি তোমরাও হয়তো জানো যে ল্যান্ড ইউজ প্ল্যানিং ইন্ডাস্ট্রি it's highly regulated. So এই যে পলিসি ড্রিভেন এবং রেগুলেশন ড্রিভেন একটা ইন্ডাস্ট্রিতে কাজ করতে সেখানেও আমাকে মানে বেশ কিছুটা সময় দিতে হয়েছে। But at the end of the day it's about creating sustainable communities, it's about creating livable communities, এবং এটার জন্য যেরকম তোমার মানে এটা যেরকম চ্যালেঞ্জিং একটা জব, সেরকম এখানে সৃজনশীলতা দরকার। আমার মনে হয় এই দুটোই বোধহয় মানে ড্রাইভ হিসেবে কাজ করে। মানে অ্যাজ এ ডিজাইনার ইউ উইল নেভার গেট বোর্ড, এন্ড মেবি দ্যাটস ওয়াই আই লাইক টু ড্রাইভ টু ওয়ার্ক এভরি ডে।
Wow, excellent. And I mean, I can see that even your background, there is a symmetry on it.
There is.
No, thank you very much. Muna. It's a great response. So I want to go to Hasina this time, and so Hasina, you worked with both private sector and public sector companies. So you worked with Sun Microsystems, PI Conductors, and right now you're working with Ministry of Transportations, and it has been a long with MTO. So this question is for our audience, and especially young women who are sort of pursuing their career or making decisions about their career. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of working for private and public sector companies, especially for a woman?
Thank you, Bodru. This is a very good question, and I would like to share some important information with the audience today about women and public-private sector. But before I start with that, I would like to say that we all know some known facts or statistics that private sectors are always revenue driven, and public sector, like government organizations, are service driven organizations. The employees are getting paid from the taxpayers' money, whereas the private sector, they have to have some profit at the end of the year, and from that they will pay their employees. So if I want to talk about the experience in the private sectors that I worked in, the PI components and Sun Microsystems, what I saw there is that you as an employee have to be on top of everything. What is going around? What is everybody being busy with? Things like that. And you have to, when you are given an assignment, you have to pick up and turn around things very quick. In those companies, performance, professionalism, ability to lead and play in the team, they don't get unnoticed. And sometimes, most of the time, you will be rewarded if you have any of those attributes. Hiring and firings, unfortunately, are frequent in the private sectors.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the public company, I only worked in Canada. What I've seen is it's a little scary, because if you as an employee don't like to work but want to get paid, you will have plenty of opportunity to do that.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you enjoy working, if you want to get busy, you will have plenty of opportunity. You will be super busy, but for the same amount of money sometimes. Hiring practices are not always fair in public sector, but jobs are stable. Layoffs are not as frequent as private. Having said that, public sector INIT organizations are better areas for career. It's now developing at a very rapid pace. We are having massive legacy modernization efforts in almost every ministry to replace like 50, 60-year-old technologies and reduce technological footprints. There are many opportunities in those areas to learn and grow. The interesting fact I want to share is the women and public sector. World Bank in 2009 have published some study where they say that there are more women in public sector workforce than in public sector in most of the countries. The gender pay gap is higher in private sector than in public sector. Public sector pays a higher wage premium to women than to men. These wage premiums are applicable to the professions like teaching and nursing. While women are well represented in the public sector, they are underrepresented at the top, meaning not a lot of women are at the CEO or director level in the public sector, but there are plenty of women at the lower level. So it's encouraging for the women who are now going to the university to go start their career in the public sector.
Great summary, and indeed, and whatever you said from my experience as well. I also worked in the private sector as well as public sector. In fact, I worked deep inside Bangladeshi government for 10 years before moving to Canada. So I see some similarities and what you said, even though, this situation is a little bit comparable between, male and female, but it's a trend is pretty much similar. Thank you, Hasina. So I want to now go to Rita. So I know that you are the owner director of iconic company EPC, and I understand that you are no longer involved in day-to-day operation of the business. But I know that you have been, heavily involved in management and corporate role before moving to Canada. So my question is, what do you miss about, corporate or management role?
Yes, you are right. I spent like more than a decade managing my father's consulting firm. So in the beginning, it was just doing design and learning, and then report writing. But later, after my father's death, I was like um, networking and doing meetings and then making proposals and all that. So it was a very much time consuming and sacrificing my relationships a lot, like putting my family down and corporate coming first. So I was spending and investing my time in the growth of the company, so that, like, the consulting firms, there's a lot of competition. Even if you get um, a project, then you have to execute it successfully. And then when you're executing with the good, um, like talented people, then you have to keep looking for more jobs to keep sustaining your corporation. So it was a lot of stress. There was no Sunday, Monday, or Friday, Saturday, I would say, like 24-hour job. So I put a lot of effort in. Um, I put a lot of effort in day-to-day activities over there. So I'd say that moving to Canada, gave me a lot of time to invest those of my times to build up relationship with my kids, and now I get to spend a lot of time with them, and I see the difference, like how a mom I was back then when I was working in corporate life, and now I'm giving a lot of time with them and trying to understand what they need from me. So it was my decision to choose this path, and I don't regret it at all. The only thing I would say I miss is that whatever you miss in Bangladesh, like a free transportation to everywhere, and then having to deal with a lot of people at the same time, and what would I miss? All the free food and free lunches and free coffees. I miss. I really miss my coffee in Bangladesh.
Yeah. Do you remember that I met you in your office, corporate office, and it was in Dhanmondi, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was Mustafa,
Yeah.
Mohammed Mustafa, my co-shareholder of the company. And I would say he was my mentor. Like, he really helped me grow. Like, he would push me. You have to attend that meeting. You have to do this. You have to do that. Like, becoming more professional in what I was doing. Like, when my father was around, I was kind of hiding behind his shadow. But when he was not there, I would say that Mustafa Bhai was helping me grow the way I am today. Like, being more open, more like I was a lot of reserved at that time, or conservative, I would say, and more open and more talking to people that I don't even know, attending meetings and talking to people, like I owe a lot to him.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. I think you. I liked your response. Now, I just want to open this floor and ask this question about we talked about public sector, private sector, architectural industry, and um, and so my question specifically is, as a successful women professional, how do you define success? Like, one of the things which our young generation is sometimes, they have sort of difficulty of understanding or defining the success for them. So I just wanted to ask this question on behalf of them, that how do you define success, after this journey? So maybe Mona, if you can shed some light on that.
থ্যাংক ইউ বদরুল। এটা তো আসলে ধরো পার্সোনাল পারসেপশনের ব্যাপার, তাই না? লাইক how you define success, it depends on what you want out of your life. Where do you want to see yourself in the future? Some people consider themselves to be successful just by gaining wealth. Some people would like to climb the topmost position in a corporation and they would feel successful. Some would like to become, let's say, an actress and call themselves successful. But আমি যেটা বলবো এই পর্যায়ে এসে I think you can't be successful if there's not the component of happiness with it. Whatever you do, whatever you want to accomplish, you have to be passionate about it, and there has to be happiness coming from it. তুমি যে আমাকে প্রশ্ন করছিলে না যে ড্রাইভটা কি, রোজ যে কাজে যাও, what's the drive? So
Right.
there has to be something there that sort of tags you along with it. And আমার জন্য যদি বলো এই পর্যায়ে এসে how would I define success? Well, আমার এখনো priorities গুলো বদলে গেছে. Now it's giving more quality time to my family. Now it's also my own well-being, my mental and physical well-being. তো এগুলো যদি আমি ঠিকভাবে accomplish করতে পারি besides my professional responsibilities, আমি নিজেকে successful মনে করবো. But it's different for the youngsters. Follow your dreams, but be compassionate about what you're doing. Then you'll be successful.
Very well said. Hasina, you want to add anything?
Well, for me, success is like a moving target, because to me, it's related to the priority at different stages of my life. For
Right.
example, when I was living alone, Texas Tech, studying, success to me was to overcome the obstacles, complete the degree, find a job, and support myself.
Yes.
And once I moved that stage, I have next like another set of goals. And then later in the stages of my life, when I became a mother, my success, I defined it as how to juggle the responsibilities of a job and raising a daughter. So it's like a moving target. Today, I would consider success to be able to raise my daughter to become a decent, independent, and successful individual. And ultimately, maybe several years down the line, I'll be looking forward to the when I will feel fulfilled, safe, loved, and happy. That would be my ultimate success.
Beautiful. That's very well said. Rita, you want to add something on that?
I would echo with Mona and Hasina both. Like at this age now, success is like the priorities changed. So to me now, successful is being happy. Like before, the meat was like you work hard, then become successful, and then you become happy. But now it's like if you are happy, then you are successful, and you will work hard to keep yourself happy. So it went to the reverse way. So now at this age of life, আমার কাছে মনে হয় যে মানে বিজয়া মানে ও কি করবে, বা আমার ছেলে সুজয় মানে ওদের সাকসেসটা দেখার জন্যই হয়তো মানে আমি ওয়েট করছি যে ওরা সাকসেসফুল হলে মনে হবে যে সেটাই আমার সাকসেস।
Absolutely, and I fully agree and echo with you. And like Shantan's success, it's you can't really compare with that with anything virtually. Like even sometimes your success, your personal success is nothing compared to your children's success.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So it has been an hour already, but I wish we had more time. But we want to give you a little bit of surprise today because we have two more guests, and let me bring them up, and we will have conversation. So let me invite Ariba on this conversation. Hi, Ariba.
Hi, how are you?
Excellent today. Great to see you, Ariba.
Good to see you too.
And also, I have another guest. Let me bring her on. Bijoya, very nice to see you. We
you're
can hear you.
muted.
Maybe you are in mute.
Oh, it's like the most popular phrase of COVID-19. Thank you for having me.
And I also wanted to invite Anika on this conversation, if I may. Hi, Anika.
Hi,
You are looking very pretty, Ma.
thank you.
Great to see you all. So today is International Women's Day, and I just want to ask this question to Bijoya, Anika, and Ariba, that what would you say to your mother on this special day? Maybe start with Ariba.
Okay. I think there's a lot of things that I have probably personally said to my mom over our 21 years of our relationship, but I just wanted to, thank her for everything that she's kind of supported me through. And okay, don't get emotional like that. She supported me through a lot of challenging times throughout my life, and she's always been there to applaud all of the successes and been there to kind of pick me up when I've been having problems or facing challenges or dealing with mistakes. So she's kind of been like my number one fan for anything that I've really done, and I just wanted to really thank her for that.
So sweet, Ariba. So very sweet.
I'm flattered.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Bijoya, what would you say to your mom today on this very special day?
There's so much to say. I am very, very proud of her, all of her accomplishments, and I definitely, she's one of my role models. Not my first role model. I think moving away from corporate and moving to a country almost all by yourself with 2 kids and completely new environments, like she has been extremely resilient and strong, and I model myself. I try to be as much as like her, and I take a lot of lessons from her. Not only has she been like one of the best persons ever to support all of my aspirations, she's been one of my bestest friends, and I can truly share my personal life, stuff that other kids might not share with their parents or feel comfortable with. But she gives me that comfort to talk to her as my friend, and because we get so much more time to spend with each other now, we have a much closer bond, and my wish is to spend more time with her in 2021 and let her know how much I truly appreciate her guidance and support.
Wow, so sweet. Very happy to hear, Ammu, from you.
Thank you, Vijaya.
And Anika, Ammu, what did you say to your mother?
On International Women's Day, I would tell my mom, thank you for everything that she's done for me, for taking care of me for 14 years and more to come, for teaching me to be independent, to not rely on other people. She's taught me some of my greatest qualities, like how to love myself. And more than that, she's taught me that it's okay to admit when I'm wrong and how to be a better person. So she tells me when I'm wrong, obviously, and she acknowledges when I do well as well. She gives me advice with school, with my friends, with anything that I need, and like life in general.
Mhm.
I go to her for mostly everything because she's always there for me. And I would tell her thanks for putting up with me for so long, and that there's a lot more of this coming. Um, you're my role model, and I want to be just like you when I grow up, maybe a little bit better. And I'll forever be grateful.
Thank you.
Very nice. And we are so proud of you, all three of you. And so I want to ask a specific question to Ariba. You're studying at McMaster University, and I know that you are very active, so what was the environment conducive to women's empowerment, or do female students face challenges in taking leadership roles, like as a current university student?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think for the most part, when it comes to females being given the opportunity to take leadership roles, that's definitely accessible for a lot of students, especially over like the last 10 years. We've seen so much growth with feminist movements, and we've seen so much advocacy for women's empowerment, which is amazing. I do think when it comes to maybe smaller environments, especially with women in STEM, I'm sure like many of these incredible women can attest to, being a woman in STEM always has its difficulties and its struggles and its issues, primarily due to that, sex difference and this kind of this patriarchal thing that we have going. So that's definitely not going away anytime soon. But I think there's been certain advances over the last few years.
Yes.
So I've definitely seen some microaggressions that have happened within smaller classroom settings, whether it be, intentional or unintentional. But as far as women taking on leadership roles go, I think we've definitely seen a lot more of that happening, especially within my 4 years being an undergrad student.
Excellent. Well said. Bijoya, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, for sure. So I am actually dipped my feet a little bit in the sciences, and I have been taking a lot of psychology courses. Um, so in these courses, we have lots of female professors, and I think just seeing a lot of female faculty, especially in science-related fields, is really empowering. Also knowing that they are the directors of their own research labs. So I think I have at least 3 professors who direct their own research labs and are collaborating with various different university faculties and have very high credentials. And one of the things that I really like is that we have made a lot of institutional milestones to
Yes.
provide a more engaging environment and an encouraging environment for women to succeed and take on leadership roles, like Ariba said. And one of the things that she also mentioned was really, I really echoed with, was we're fighting a different kind of sexism right now. We're fighting a more microaggressional, more social type of discrimination that is really hard to pinpoint,
Yes.
really hard to even know if it happened. So on a social level is where femininity needs more encouragement. And I think one of the things I would like to highlight is that we are we don't want to discriminate against masculine figures either, against men either. I think both genders and the other genders, of course, gender equity, should encourage femininity and like being nurturing and being kind and being able to show those emotional sides to others. And I think that's kind of like the progress we need now to be able to be more vulnerable and open about our personal struggles and whatnot.
Very, very thoughtful response. Yes, you are right on. And just listening your response, I attempted to ask this question about, maybe first to Ariba, that how optimistic you are about, having sort of a more fair, equitable, or women friendly, female friendly society in near future. Let's say in 5 years or 10 years time.
Yeah, I think 5 years is being a little bit too optimistic,
Yes.
especially with like the changes that we've seen over the last, I would say maybe decade. I probably wouldn't say that there would be a 100% completely female-friendly society, because a lot of these gender biases that we have are kind of generational, and they've been passed down from grandparents to parents to us, and it's like these biases are kind of like inherently in us. So we have to take an active role in kind of unlearning these gender biases and kind of making an active effort to try and become not necessarily female friendly, but creating a more equitable and inclusive environment for everyone, essentially.
Yes.
So when it comes to the next 5 years, I think we're definitely on track to making a lot of progress, especially with things that we see recently with like the Me Too movement has taken a huge step towards inclusion and allowing women and men, of course, to open up about their and speak out about their concerns and being vulnerable and allowing them to speak up on sexual violence and whatever they've experienced. But if we're talking about 100% female inclusion, I definitely don't think 5 years will be enough, especially because it takes a very long time for that. For those gender biases to kind of be inherently within us, because it's, again, I said it's passed down from generation to generation. So because of this, it's probably going to take even longer for us to unlearn all of these gender biases and take a step towards really creating a more inclusive society, if that makes sense.
Absolutely makes sense. Yes, very insightful, and very happy to hear that. Bijoya, you want to add anything on that?
Sure. After I say something, I would also like Anika to mention like how has her experience been like as a as a person who's just going through adolescence and like going through all of these changes. So to echo what Ariba's point, I think in the next 5 to 10 years is definitely too much of a shorter time span to really bring about change, because we have to get, I think, a herd type of mindset. Really unlearning takes a long time.
Yeah.
And I think one of the more empowering works we can do is, echoing Ariba's point, we should empower individuals to be to embrace their feminine sides as well as their masculine sides. I feel that women have definitely embraced their masculine side by working, by taking leads on projects, speaking up for themselves, but also kind of undermining the softness or the nurturing aspects of themselves. And some women feel that they're not feministic enough. They are not supporting the movement enough by not being exactly those boss lady type of archetype. And I think what we could do is promote both aspects of an individual. And I would like to throw it back to some of my other people here, what they think.
Yeah. So let's go back to Anika then. Anika, what do you think about, how optimistic you are about, having a sort of more conducive, more equitable society?
Well, I'm a lot younger than most people here, and honestly, I would say that with my classmates and kind of with my generation, I guess,
Yes.
I don't really see a whole bunch of sexism, and um, for me, there isn't a huge apparent bias towards men or guys rather than girls. Like at school, we're all given equal chances. It's not really girls aren't really undermined at school, and we all get the same opportunities and stuff. And I know that a bunch of my classmates, they speak out about it on social media. They go to protests before pandemic, obviously, but there's still online Zoom protests and stuff like that as well. And they go to those, and I think that the issue is talked about widely, and it's getting the exposure that it needs. It could always get more, obviously, but it is getting better, and I don't think that 5 years will be enough because, Ariba and Bijoya said, it takes time to unlearn something. Yeah.
Yes.
I would like to add something to it.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yes, it takes time to unlearn or to change the habit, per se, right? It would probably take a generation when these generation will become older and older, and our generation will slowly demise. Maybe that's when women will get more power or equality in the society. Yeah.
No, very well said.
আমি একটু অ্যাড করতে চাই যে
Absolutely.
আরিবা, বিজয়া, আনিকা, তোমরা সবাই যেটা বলছিলে যে it seems that there's already a movement, there's already awareness. Definitely মানে আমরা যে সময়টাতে আমাদের প্রফেশনাল ক্যারিয়ার শুরু করেছিলাম সেখান থেকে you guys are in a far more better position now. At least you're not shying away from raising your voice. You're not feeling afraid যে আমার এগেনস্টে অ্যাবিউজ হয়েছে, আমি প্রতিবাদ করব, সেই প্রতিবাদ যে আমাকে উল্টা বুমেরাং হয়ে ইট ক্যান সোশ্যালি স্টিগমাটাইজড মি, সেই ভয়টা তোমরা পাচ্ছ না। সো দ্যাটস আ ভেরি গুড সাইন, এন্ড that was very much needed. So এই যে the collective energy of all women from all parts of the world, আমরা যে গ্লাস সিলিং এর কথা বলি না, আমার মনে হয় যে কালেকটিভ এনার্জিটা it's making the glass ceiling fragile. And definitely, one day, I don't know when that one day will be, the glass ceiling will be shattered. Right. As a woman, এটা কিন্তু আমি strongly believe করি, because we've already, as Hasina bolchilo, we've already started, seeing changes.
And as a man, I also do believe that, we are moving in a right direction. And I'm very happy to hear the, optimistic voice from Anika, because she's the youngest. And I also feel that, we are really moving in the right direction. So Rita, do you want to add anything?
এটাই মানুষের মধ্যে নারী পুরুষ সমান বা কে আগে কে পরে না, প্রথমত নারী একজন মানুষ, তো মানুষের সম্মানটুকু যেন সে পায়। মানুষের কথা আমরা যেভাবে ভাবি বা তাকে যেভাবে বিচার করি, সে ছেলে বা মেয়ে না, তাকে ফার্স্ট অফ অল একজন হিউম্যান বিইং হিসেবে ট্রিট করা, তার কথা শোনা, সেটাই হচ্ছে চাওয়া। সবাইকে সবাই মানুষ হিসেবে রেসপেক্ট করবে, অন্য কিছু না। আমি ঘর থেকে বের হলাম, যা কিছু করলাম, আবার ঘরে ফিরলাম, সবাই যেন আমাকে একজন নারী হিসেবে না দেখে, একজন মানুষ হিসেবে দেখে, সেটাই আমাদের সবার চাওয়া বা মুভমেন্ট হওয়া উচিত। এই কথাটাতে এসেই অনেকে মনে করে যে নারীবাদী মানে হচ্ছে একটা মেয়েকে ছেলের উপরে টপকায় উপরে উঠতে হবে বা চ্যালেঞ্জ ছুড়ে দিতে হবে যে না, আই এম বেটার দ্যান ইউ, আর অনেকে মনে করে যে ইকুয়াল টু ইউ। বাট এখানে কোনো কম্পিটিশন নাই। একটা ছেলেকে যেরকম নির্ভয়ে চলাফেরা করতে পারে বা ঘরে ফিরতে পারে বা যা খুশি নিজের মত প্রকাশ করতে পারে, যে স্বাধীনতাটুকু, সেই স্বাধীনতাটুকুই আমাদের চাওয়া একটা মানুষ হিসেবে, আর কিছু না।
Absolutely right on. And it's a collaboration, it's a cooperation, it's it's a teamwork. So Anika, Ariba, and Bijoya, we are so proud of you, and I know that you are doing excellent academically, and we also know that you are also very good at your extracurricular activities. So and especially Bijoya and Ariba, you both are very good in music. So can we request that you sing a song for us today for this special occasion?
Sure. Yes, for sure.
Okay.
I can go first if you want, Joya.
I can. Okay, I didn't prepare a song, but I could support Ariba.
Yeah. Why don't you support her? Yeah.
Support her.
Sure.
Okay, that sounds great. Okay, so because it is International Women's Day, I thought the most appropriate song would be something to dedicate to women and something that might maybe uplift spirits and empower women. And I think one of my favorite songs that go along with this is Beautiful by Christina Aguilera. I'm sorry, I didn't have a Bangla song prepared, unfortunately.
No,
I couldn't really find one, but I think this is probably the best way to go about it. So I guess I can get started.
Yep, sure.
Okay. Every day it's so wonderful, then suddenly it's hard to breathe. Now and then I get insecure from all the pain. I'm so ashamed. I am beautiful no matter what they say. Words can't bring me down. I am beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring me down. Oh no. So don't you bring me down today. To all your friends, you're delirious, so consumed in all your doom, trying hard to fill the emptiness. The piece is gone, left the puzzle undone. Is that the way it is? You are beautiful no matter what they say. Words can't bring you down. Oh no, 'cause you are beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring you down. Oh no. So don't you bring me down today, 'cause we are beautiful no matter what they say. Yes, words won't bring us down. No, we are beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring us down. Oh no, so don't you bring me down today. Oh, don't you bring me down today.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Very good.
Well done. Excellent job, Ariba.
Our
Thank you.
Bengali Christina Aguilera.
And,
Kind.
and Ariba, you know that I'm a great fan of your song.
Thank you so much.
Especially the Bengali song you sang before that,
Nishua Pathare.
yeah, Nishua
Oh
Pathare.
yes, that one.
It was so well done.
Thank
I
you.
still remember. But thank you so very much, all of you, Anika, Ariba, and Bijoya. You guys made our day. We don't have a lot of time today, so we want to sort of close this this evening, sort of giving a tribute to our national poet Kazi Nazrul Islam. And Kazi Nazrul Islam is one of the sort of most secular, progressive, and feminist. I wouldn't say feminist, but pro female poet, and he was a strong believer of equality. So today we want to close this program. First of all, thanking you all, thanking you for your time, and also reciting this poem, which is Shammer Gan Gai. So maybe may I request Hasina to start, and then we can in fact progress.
Before I start, I'd like to thank each one of you, Bodru especially, giving us the opportunity to unfold ourselves. So let's start. Shammer Gan Gai. Shammer Gan Gai, আমার চক্ষে পুরুষ রমণী কোনো ভেদাভেদ নাই, বিশ্বের যা কিছু মহান সৃষ্টি চির কল্যাণকর, অর্ধেক তার করিয়াছে নারী, অর্ধেক তার নর। বিশ্বে যা কিছু এলো পাপ তাপ বেদনা অশ্রুভারী, অর্ধেক তার আনিয়াছে নর, অর্ধেক তার নারী।
কত মাতা দিল হৃদয় উক্তি, কত বোন দিল সেবা, বীরের স্মৃতি স্তম্ভের গায়ে লিখিয়া রাখিছে কেবা। কোনো কাজ একা হয়নি কো জয়ী, পুরুষের দরবারে প্রেরণা দিয়েছে, শক্তি দিয়েছে বিজয় লক্ষ্মী নারী।
সে যুগ হয়েছে বাসি, যে যুগে পুরুষ দাস ছিল না কো, নারীরা আসিল দাসী। বেদনার যুগ, মানুষের যুগ, সাম্যর যুগ আজি, কেহ রহিবে না বন্দি কাহারো, উঠিছে ডঙ্কা বাজি।
যুগের ধর্ম এই, পীড়ন করিলে সে পীড়ন, এসে পীড়া দেবে তোমাকেই। শোনো মর্তের জীব, অন্যরে যত করিবে পীড়ন, নিজে হবে তত ক্লীব। সেদিন সুদূর নয়, যেদিন ধরণী পুরুষের সাথে গাহিবে নারীর জয়। So thank you very much. And with this, on behalf of Bhawal TV Canada, I would like to thank all of our guests, Mona, Rita, Hasina, and Bijoya, Ariba, and Anika, and all of our audience for your participation, for your time. I really had a wonderful time, and I think we all have wonderful time today. And have a wonderful Women's Day, and all the best to all of you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, wishing all the women out there a happy International Women's Day. And thank you, all of you, for letting us express ourselves. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you.